You have typically been part of research labs, right? And would it be right to assume that you have been typically kind of isolated from the pulls and the pressures of a product, right? Where the idea is to ship out quickly, right? In order for the product to work well, you have to get 110 things right? How does that play out, right? I mean, one can obviously look at a lot of pros, right? That being away from all these pressures, you have time to think holistically, right? Bring in all the right set of elements, right? But are there also some cons that you see because you're not directly plugged into the product team, right? And you often tend to work with little more abstract problems, if I may say.
Hmm. Hmm. It's interesting that you say that. Like, so first of all, I do think that uh, like pure research labs is sort of a thing of the past, right? Like, I mean, everywhere, wherever even in top like research labs, there is a lot of kind of pressure to align things to product now, right? So everyone, and particularly with this modern technology, it's really expensive, right? Like training neural networks and training large neural networks is really expensive, and you are training this, and surely I'm all for scientific curiosity, but I think, like, corporations do need to make money, and so there has been a kind of steer in nudge, at least a nudge in this direction of like aligning your research work with products, and like actually focusing on like trying to do research that can directly work with or help in products, right? So, but this is the kind of situation today. But I've been in the situation where we were sort of doing pure academic kind of research, even in industrial labs. You know, yeah, and there is surely a con in the sense, like I used to joke with a friend that it's in like or corporations, it's the closer you are to the money, you know what I mean, like so if you are kind of working on a product, like sales folks, right, like that's kind of the first line of a corporation, of like what's making the sale for that product, right? And then the product teams that are building this product, right? And then if you're a research team, uh you it's advantageous if you're feeding into this product, right? Like, so if the work that you are doing, so yeah, and I've enjoyed actually on being on all these, like all these like points of this spectrum, right? When you are doing just some pure research, while when you are like kind of feeding into doing research that is feeding into a product, right? Yeah, it's simple, it helps if you kind of, as they say, like pay your bills, right? Like, so if you kind of have done some research that helps in a product,
Yeah.
and that brings you some credibility and brings you some time to go explore other things as well, right? So I think it's gonna be sort of a balance of commercial and the academic curiosity. Yeah.